we go. Green flag in GRIDLIFE Rush Series. Race number 1 is underway. And a good launch for Ryan Leach on the inside, but James French dead even with him across the front straightaway.
Yeah, keeps him perfectly honest. They're going to be headlight to headlight as they get down into the braking zone for turn number 1. There it is. It looks like French may be getting a little bit of help from Mersberger behind, but Leach goes for the apex quickly. He's going to take the advantage very much so coming into turn 1, and then they're all over the place. Many cars going for the runoff pavement just to make sure they don't make contact. Are we through? No, there's one car sideways. Everyone else makes it.
Yeah, down to turn 3 now. It's Leach and French that are battling for the top spot in the race. In the championship fight, French is a long ways back. 165 points to Leach's 300, so he's got to start eating into Ryan Leach's advantage somewhere if he wants to have a shot at a title later this year. Down to turn 5 on the opening lap here. Leach leads the way. French, and now French is under fire from Hosey, and behind him, Mersberger on attack of Andy Vogel.
Wow, look at that wiggle from Hosey as he gets down the inside. I think it's going to be a drag race up the hill. Big lockup from a car down further in the field. There's going to be some slight contact and another spin. These short wheelbase cars are very easy to lose, but all the drivers so far able to avoid that car, slightly trying to pull out of the way. As long as he doesn't get high-centered there, we're in good shape, and Hosey was not able to complete the pass. It was a drag race up the hill. French maintains the second position. All the meanwhile, Ryan Leach is getting away. He's, well, call it 5 car lengths of these cars anyway, ahead. Now Mersberger is through on Hosey after that attack did not work. Hosey is on the back foot.
Yeah, that was Villa Saldana that was spun at turn 5, got side-to-side contact there and looped around, but through the carousel for the first time. You see the kind of candy apple red and blue cars. That's Nico Bratz and Ethan Alexander. Bratz was a front-running car here last year. Just goes to show you how much more competitive this field has gotten in a year's time in the GRIDLIFE Rush Series. Off to the kink for the first time.
Been a huge start for, I think, Nate Hamilton, up a couple number of positions into about the 8th position running. He's left his teammate in the dust a couple cars back. I think it's Hamilton up in front of Hunt with a couple cars between them. Down into the braking zone for the first time. Mersberger is feeling defensive on Hosey. Andy Vogel adding the pressure there. The top 5 starting to break away just a little bit. Those 2 teammates drag racing up the hill. One car running wide after a big lunge at Canada Corner. Loses a bit of position.
I think that was TJ Hunt maybe that went a little wide there. He and teammate Nate Hamilton in very similar looking cars as they head through turn 14, back up the hill now. And Leach immediately goes defensive. The dragon move on the front straightaway here to sort of break that slipstream. And heading up under the bridge to complete the first lap. Probably 6 or 7. A little smoke from one of the cars there midfield.
Top 2 breakaway. It's a drag race up the straight for 4th position, though. Andy Vogel has a run on the back of Blair Hosey. Hosey was on the attack for 2nd, now finds himself scrambling for 5th. Vogel down the inside. They're both going to dive for the apex, follow each other through the corner, and Vogel completes it. Although Hosey's going to be able to stay around the outside. No, not able to.
Side by side through one, a couple cars wide on the rumble strips. Down to 3, pretty single file here at this stage, but it's a 2-car breakaway at the front of the field, that with French being a hometown driver effectively from nearby Sheboygan. 4/10 back from Ryan Leach. He's the only driver that really stands a chance. Spin at the exit of 3, Tom.
Yeah, big brake lock up through the rear, on the rear tire of that car through the entry of turn number 3, goes around another car.
Ooh, here we go. For the lead, here comes French on the outside into turn 5. Late on the brakes. Leach is later. Crossover from French. What a move there.
Textbook
Over
stuff.
under. That was beautiful.
Oh, bit of contact for Andy Vogel and Hosey. Vogel still trying to pick up that 4th position, and now we're still side by side all over the back half of the top 20. French has absolutely checked out after that over-under. Leach struggling a bit.
Yeah, Leach was wide on the rumble strips there. That leaves Mersberger to close in on him. So Leach hasn't been passed for the lead a whole lot this year. It has happened back to Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta, round 2 of the championship, but he got it back in the rain, ended up winning as he has every other race this season. So can he run down the Wisconsin native out front?
And French baited him hook, line, and sinker. That couldn't have played out any more perfect, and that has brought 4 more cars back into the conversation, starting with Mersberger, Hosey, Vogel, and now Bratz has closed the gap just a bit, trying to bring his teammate Alexander with. Also, Charnogorski with a pretty good start from, I think, 11th up to 8th.
Through the carousel now. It's definitely shuffled the deck in the front of the order just a little bit now, with French in the top spot. Can he run away? That's the other thing with the draft on these cars being strong enough on these long straights. A little bit deeper in the field there's the 115 car of Ethan Hardesty, who's relatively new to the championship. Oh, big crash at the exit of the kink, and that might be TJ Hunt there.
I believe it is.
And that is a pretty big hit there on driver's right.
Front clamshell on these cars is all one piece, so that's essentially the body damage you're seeing the front end of that car having come off. It looks like we're going to go pretty quickly to a full course yellow here. 15-minute race, and that should be 2 cars involved, it looks like. The number 20 also with some damage, potentially not necessarily the same incident, but that's Bill Dorrance with some suspension damage on that left rear.
Yeah, he was trying to get it around, but he's going to find an orange cutout instead. That's another driver new to the championship this round, and he'll find his way off track.
Talk about good timing. James French was able to take the lead right before this full course caution came out, maybe 4 or 5 corners before, and that's going to put him in the position, if we don't go back to green, he will both win this race and start on pole for the next. That's exactly what he wanted to start this weekend with. Only 1 car left stranded there back in the kink area, and the problem with this big concrete tunnel in the woods is there's no quick way to get safety crews there. There's close, but they really have to kind of drive down that tunnel to get there, so still on their way there, and that tends to delay the cleanups in that section just a little bit longer than other areas.
Yeah, this could certainly work out in French's favor, because a restart would not be good with Ryan Leach on his tailpipe. So if this race ends under yellow, Leach was not going to be stoked about that, but it'd be the first time this year that someone's uprooted Leach, and it was by a very fair pass down at 5. Job well done by James French on the attack on the outside. Just a beautiful over-under. He just chucked it to the inside, throttled up, and managed to sneak by French.
You get the very experienced driver across many different platforms, including open wheel and closed wheel prototypes. Has professional racing experience and works as a driver coach across the country. So this is not an inexperienced driver, and it's not a surprise to see him be able to pull off a move like that. And again, if we do get to go back to green, that's going to bring Merceberger, Hosey, Vogel, Bratz, Alexander, and Chornogorski, the rest, Jason Ayler, and such, into the conversation. We've seen bump drafting work, and we've also seen a lot of drafting. So, I mean, it's really unpredictable, I would say, anytime we're going to be in a big pack like this.
Yeah, so I don't know that we'll get the green this time, and we could end up with a white flag and a yellow, which would be unfortunate here because we were just getting started there at the front after we reshuffled the deck. So we'll see how things pan out when we come back around to turn 12, which is about the latest opportunity that they'll use to shut the lights off. Also note that Jason Ayler, Tom, did you pick this up, that he has the best lap of the race?
I did. That came across as they were finishing this lap under full course yellow, so that may be a bit misrepresented, but it would mean if that were to come out next race, which grids race 3 based on fast lap, it would bring a driver like Jason Ayler into the pole position. So that's just how quickly things can get turned on their head when we do these 4 races in sequence over the next 2 days.
Yeah, Bill Dorrance by the orange cutout, and I think the corner workers trying to decide if they want to pull that car back a little further behind the wall or if it's okay there. But TJ Hunt's car, we believe that is TJ Hunt. Have we confirmed that, Tom? As he's going to look down the order for me, because there's a couple cars that look very similar, and timing and scoring says yes, it is TJ Hunt in the 28, unfortunately. So I was saying earlier in the weekend, he had a really great debut season in this championship. Again, 7th in the standings coming to this event, and he had a big off at Midwest Festival through turns 9 and 10, and that's a very fast area of that racetrack too, but pretty easy. This is a common place to make a mistake, and this is, I think, TJ's first time running here, so this is a daunting corner in any car. My first experience on track ever was at this racetrack in the rain in a Spec Miata, and it was a braking zone for that corner. So I understand how challenging this place can be.
At least you made it such, right? Yeah, especially when you enter these wheel-to-wheel races after doing so much practice, it's a daunting corner by yourself. I suspect in these cars it's barely a lift, if not just flat. But then you end up going 2-3 wide. You have to change and adapt to the scenario. The short wheelbase, as I mentioned, we've saw a number of drivers just have self-spins and be able to continue. We can speculate till we're blue in the face what might have happened. It's probably something related to that if it's a single car incident. Typically, if you have contact in this section of the track, more than one car is involved.
Yeah, and unfortunately you see the tow truck coming, and these cars are sometimes not necessarily the easiest things to tow. You got to pick them up like you're scruffing a cat a little bit with a harness. And,
I was going to go with the shopping basket.
Oh, well.
Little shopping basket.
Last year we had Owen Horst commentating with me, and he reminded me of the claw. And they're going to do that there with Bill Dorrance's car at the exit of turn 13. So
working minute 9 of approximately 15, and with a track this long, they're going to have to give or take. Just based on scheduling, we have a cram-packed schedule. Next up on track, by the way, the USF Juniors race coming up on the USF Pro Championship YouTube channel. Won't be shown on our live stream, but we'll use our camera shots with some other commentators joining us here in just a moment. So the racing action doesn't stop, even though you're going to see this stream go down for just a moment. Just able also to catch the number 190 of John Robinson. That was the car that got shuffled wide. It's the bright orange French car and sitting in 10th, shuffled wide off at Canada corner, lost a couple of positions for a moment, but was able to hold on to that top 10 position. A little difficult to get the numbers on the small panels with the small bodywork here, but we're learning. Good look at Bill there. John there.
John Robinson in that number 190. Bright orange car, easy to spot this one from a mile away, which is always helpful. For a long time when the series began, there was a lot of body in white out there. It was pretty hard to pick up the car numbers. And this year we redesigned the decals and things. It made things a little easier to read than they were.
For sure. Yeah, when I was in pro racing, all the cars were black with a colored accent. So I made mine bright blue. It's like, you can't miss me.
Yeah.
And I'm going to turn my headlights on. Why not?
Yeah. Do we have a white flag out at the... I didn't see one yet.
I didn't catch it either. The guy's got it in his hand. Nope, he doesn't have it in his hand.
Yeah. So that it very well could be.
So we have seen tire temperatures be a bit of a slow burn here in these cars. They are a small, I think they're actually a 13-inch tire. It's a 100 treadwear essentially tire that you could actually go and get for your car too if it fits. In different sizes, of course. They make it in more than one, but it's not necessarily a bespoke tire to this car. It's got a little bit of tread on it, and the cars tend to be fastest on laps 2 and 3. That could also play into maybe why Ryan Leach a bit more up on the wheel on that first green flag. French able to get back to him. A little bit of ebb and flow, and it's kind of a superpower. If you're comfortable with the car on colder tires, or if you're able to switch the tires on in conditions like this where you're driving slowly, you absolutely have a leg up on the drivers around you. Not a lot of weaving though. That tends to be what you see people think will warm the tires. Accelerating and braking also tends to be much more efficient at putting some force down through the tread.
Again, if we get a restart, it's going to be a lap. So we'll be keeping an eye out for a white flag and a green. It's possible also that they'll just get a checker when they come back around, depending on where the tow trucks are. They'll slow the pace lap down as much as they can so we don't get trapped doing another full 4-mile pace lap here at Road America. 3 more races on the weekend for the GRIDLIFE Rush Series after this one. And the way this championship format works, again, Tom, is each race flows into the next. As you pointed out, finishing position, pretty important because it'll basically qualify you for the next race and so on and so forth. Now, the major difference between our formats between this series and IBOC GLTC and GRIDLIFE GT is that the 4th race is set by your points earned from the first 3 races, where in GLGT and IBOC GLTC, it's by your finishing order from race 3 with a random invert of the top quarter, well, roughly top quarter of the field. It's a dice roll by the race 3 winner.
25 points for the winner, 21 for second, 18 for third, then 16 for fourth, and on down. Getting the what do we call it, a grocery basket carry off the track for TJ Hunt.
So this is your championship points as they run here. Ryan Leach leads still by 321 points over Andy Vogel at 241. But note that this is 21 points because he's running second. It'd be 325 if he was the leader. So this is how things are going to shift and shuffle. And look how close French and Alexander are. So if French drops out of that position, he's going to lose a handful of points to Ethan and Nico Brat. So that's working. I'm very excited that graphic works. And we'll get hopefully restarted for a 1-lap shootout. I do also see a checker in the hands of the starter. I don't want to have bad juju on that there, Tom.
Yeah, don't get your hopes up. Joining us trackside and at home, we're working minute number 13 of a 15-minute race, so we wouldn't be surprised to see the checkered, but again, we have a slightly fluid schedule with how much is crammed into this Summer Apex race weekend for GRIDLIFE at Road America. A couple of cars warming tires. That could just be out of caution, but a number of these drivers are going to have a team radio. They're going to know what to expect. Safety cars lights still on as we come through Canada. I agree, it's not looking promising.
Yeah, so again, they didn't really speed things back up. There's still a white and red cross flag at turn 12, so maybe still working on Bill Dorrance's car, in which case I would almost be certain that we're going to be ending under yellow flag here for the GRIDLIFE Rush Series race number 1. Cars working their way up through Billy Mitchell Bend here. James French in command. This is his home track. You see the white flag displayed at turn 13. That means slow moving or safety vehicle, not last lap, but I think that we're already on it. But again, Ryan Leach undefeated this year, perhaps until today, because James French with an over-under pass at turn 5 is going to come up the hill, and it will be a checker flag being displayed here for GRIDLIFE Rush Series Race 1, finishing under the safety car conditions. And this year, there's only been 1 driver in the win column. Let's make it 2. James French wins his first ever GRIDLIFE Rush Series race in the first race of the weekend here at Road America at GRIDLIFE Summer Apex. Then second place, Ryan Leach, Bryce Mersberger, Blair Hosey. And looking down the rest of the order here in just a moment for the rest of the runners. Tom, we're going to be ending under yellow here and passing things off to the USF Juniors folks here in just a moment's time. Blair Hosey, Volkel, Bratz, Alexander, Charganorski, Jason Aylert, John Robinson, your top 10. And the rest of the order flashing on your screen. Jalen Batley, P11. Hassan Ahmed, Matt Wilson in the top 15. Nate Hamilton, teammate to TJ Hunt, 17th place. Ellis Spezia in his first race, P20. Down the rest of the order there, Kelsey Billingsley, Jake Sanders, 27th, Tim Burkhardt in 30th. And at the very bottom of the order, you'll see the cars that were involved in the collision there. One more page. We had 45 cars in this race. AJ Campo, 35th. Vila Saldana, we saw him spin at turn 5. And then on this last page, TJ Hunt and Bill Dorrance out with collisions. So that's going to do it for the Grid Life Rush Series race number 1. Again, if you're watching here on YouTube, we'll be back in a little bit after the USF Juniors race. We'll be back shortly.